Hey everyone. So in this video, I wanted to talk about boosting the antiviral signal. So something that happens when a virus comes into the body is that macrophages, or cells of the immune system, which gobble up viruses and then start the process of signaling the immune system to start fighting viruses. And it does this through the type 1 interferon response. So viruses get taken up into the macrophage, they start sending out this signal to mobilize the immune system. Viruses have actually also learned to adapt and to block this signal. They can be very smart in blocking this signal. So anything that we can do to help to block their blocking or to increase the type 1 interferon signaling is going to help the immune system get a better handle on the virus. So here we have a macrophage that's taken up the virus is bound to the ACE2 receptor on the membrane of the macrophage, gets taken up into these endosomes, and then the signaling starts. So here we have a larger blown up picture of what that looks like. So once the virus attaches, it gets enveloped into these endosomes, and we have the ACE2 receptor and the virus here in the endosome, and the RNA that's inside the virus gets released. Now inside the endosome as well, we have something called toll-like receptor 7. Now, the RNA in the presence of toll-like receptor 7 actually starts the signaling of the type 1 interferon response. There's a communication that happens with the nucleus of the cell, and the nucleus starts producing type 1 interferons, which are the signaling molecules which are the major antiviral signaling molecules. So this is the signal that then goes out into the immune system and says, hey, we need to start killing viruses. Something that also happens in the endosome is that in the presence of RNA, another receptor called NOX2, which is bound to NADPH, which we talked about in the clotting video, NOX2, in the presence of RNA, produces hydrogen peroxide, which can come in and on a specific site on the toll-like receptor, cis98, starts oxidizing it and blocking the signaling of toll-like receptor 7 for the type 1 interferon response. So there's a blocking that happens here when that part of the toll-like receptor 7 gets oxidized. So there's some things that we can do to help to block this blocking and also to increase this signal here. So something called Heme Oxygenase 1, which I'm going to abbreviate HO1, is a major factor which our body uses to block the NOX2 NADPH complex from then blocking toll-like receptor 7. So what are some things that increase heme oxygenase 1 in the body? So we talked about spirulina at a dose of around 15 grams per day can actually increase heme oxygenase 1. We talked about lipoic acid last time as well in the clotting video. Lipoic acid at a dose of around 1,200 to 1,800 milligrams can do it as well. And then ferulic acid, which can also increase heme oxygenase 1 at a dose of around 500 to 1,000 milligrams, can do it. Elderberries, one of my favorite herbs, are actually high in ferulic acid, or rather the anthocyanins in elderberry get converted into ferulic acid in the plasma and boost ferulic acid, which can help to increase heme oxygenase 1. Doses are around usually 500 to 1,000 milligrams for elderberry. So that can block this complex, but then we can also block the formation of hydrogen peroxide through the creation of glutathione. So glutathione is the major antioxidant of the body. So glutathione can actually block free radicals and hydrogen peroxide from damaging toll-like receptor 7 and blocking the signaling of type 1 interferons. So some things that can increase glutathione is NAC. We talked about that in the last video as well. NAC doses around 1,200 to 1,800 milligrams can boost glutathione levels. And then selenium. Selenium is an important cofactor for glutathione production. So selenium doses around 50 to 100 micrograms per day are necessary for glutathione production. Something that happens as well, once the endosome releases RNA into the cytoplasm of the cell, there are molecules called MAVSs, which are produced from mitochondria. These are our mitochondria. MAVS, which stands for mitochondrial antiviral signaling proteins. This, in the presence of RNA, will also help to pump up the interferon response. So anything that can increase this signaling is going to help the type of interferon response. And something interesting that can do it is actually glucosamine. So glucosamine, which we hear more about for joint and cartilage stimulation, can actually do this as well. So around 10 grams dose per day can potentially increase the MAVS. So this is some of the things that can help to increase the type 1 interferon response. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will be posting this to YouTube as well. Please follow me on YouTube and subscribe there. I'm going to try to post more videos and increase the number of videos on the YouTube channel. So please subscribe and follow me there as well.